You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts.
You know what it takes to sell real estate?
It takes brass.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps, the show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And, of course, you've noticed the roller coaster ride that we've been in, as of late, from the run-up last year, 2017, to the continued run-up in 2018, earlier this year. We've been seeing a lot of activity on the upside, and now we're going through a slight correction that's in motion right now. And don't panic, don't freak out. It's healthy. You want it to correct a little bit because it's going to create buying opportunities. The people that can't stomach it, hey, they'll be out, and it'll create opportunities for those that are looking at for the long-term benefits of whatever issue they're invested in. Keep in mind, nothing goes up in a straight line for a long period of time. This has been the longest run that I've seen in probably ever. And there has to be breathing room allowed for it to settle back and forge forward. You want that to happen. And this doesn't just hold true for the market as a whole and the market in general. It holds true for individual stocks as well, individual issues that may have had a good run, and then all of a sudden they back off a little bit and it creates opportunities. And again, they settle in and then they have the opportunity to go forward because they may have something else going on. In 6 months they may come out with a new product and come out with something great that'll just create more value for investors. Keep in mind, when I'm talking about longer term, I'm not talking about a trade. I'm talking about an investment where you're sitting in the company for a little bit. And again, when stocks come down, is it always good to average down? Well, it depends. I mean, if you believe in the company and you believe what it's doing and you believe that it has the potential that you initially invested in, then sure, it's a buying opportunity. So you want to take a look at that. And if you follow me on Twitter, then you would know that while most everyone on the street, they were bashing Twitter. Okay. They were, really, people gave up in the company, even before it became public. And they were, basically calling in the fat lady to sing before it had its time in the sun. Granted, there's been a lot of turmoil around the company, but if you take all the noise, all the background noise out of the way, and you see the company for what it is, there's value there. I've been saying don't sleep on this company for a long time. And the reality is this, Twitter has true value. It does. It pioneered mass public SMS. Pure and simple, that's what they actually did. But, it's what they're doing is adding more components to it to make the functionality a lot better. Granted, not a lot of people understood what Twitter was about. Same way a lot of people don't understand what blockchain is about. But once you start to learn and understand, it becomes easier to work with. And, Twitter, they're reaching a larger audience than most think. And its potential hasn't even been fully tapped, in my opinion. But it will, and I believe that you're going to see more of that coming out with the new people that should be coming in the company or are there already, and just based on the technology and what it can do to me. It shows its true value. And the stock has doubled from its lowest point in May of 2017. So not even a full 12 months yet. And that's what it did. That's what it did. Dud is not a word, but that's what it did. And it's, again, and I think that there's a lot more to it. Honestly, this is just the beginning of the ride. And for those that understand what the value of the company's products are to the future of communication, well, they're the ones that are going to benefit tremendously. You have to look a little deeper and understand what they're doing and what they could add to the company. You know, it's not just about, hey, I'm going to send a tweet. It's more than that, what they can do, and even what they can do on a private end. Okay, if they add some security there, some secure measures, they can probably get into something like that, which would be very interesting. They have the foundation for that. That's the beauty of it. They have the foundation, and there's a lot more value that hasn't been tapped, but I'm sure they're going to start doing that now. And again, you know, look, for traders, it's been a trading heaven. You know, the stock's going up, down, sideways, and they were, you know, continuing to jump in and out of puts and calls and this and that. And the bottom line is right now with the call volume increasing and becoming more pricey and put action slowing down a little bit for the moment, I think that it's starting to show a direction for the stock trading-wise. So lots of opportunity for short and long-term gains in my opinion. And for full disclosure, I do not personally own Twitter. Because I try not to own the issues that I'm speaking about, because, I mean, how can anyone see me as being biased if that's the case? But you know, my trust has had a long-term position in the company for a while, but again, that's just for full disclosure. Now, moving on to the next topic. Listen, I love innovation. I love technology. And without technology, you can't really innovate. So it goes hand in hand. You have to look at the full picture. I feel that AI, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, you know, even with augmented reality, gaming, smart technology, and blockchain technology will be a wave that will last for decades. There's so much more to be done there. And you see that with the companies that are involved in the sectors and what they're doing. And there's no question that, and this is a big thing, I want you to listen, no question that new homes and buildings will incorporate not only smart technology, but also artificial intelligence, and in some cases blockchain technology. And you're probably thinking, okay, you get the smart technology, smart homes, smart buildings, yeah. Artificial intelligence, yeah. You know, if you can make your home or your building into a learning machine, it's always good. But blockchain technology, I'm going to tell you why. You know, if you are utilizing blockchain technology in for certain functions of a home, it gives you a record. Let's say your refrigerator. You can have a record of all the services, all the servicing that the refrigerator has had from the beginning of time. Okay, and that's something that can be used, not, you know, when you're selling your home or when or you're buying your home, and you can utilize this stuff. So I believe that is going to be incorporated into homes. Okay, and with smart cities being pushed further globally, new building initiatives, they're going to be demanding, and they're demanding now. The demand for smart technology is high, and it's not just in the United States; it's globally. And we're not only talking about commercial properties. We're talking about residential. We're talking about everything from affordable, mid-range, high-end, commercial buildings, smaller buildings, bigger buildings, everything. Because that smart city initiative is going to bring everything together. And this is where it gets really interesting. You know, we're talking Jetsons type of stuff, right? You know, this is where we're going. This is stuff that's been thought about. This is stuff that has been laid out. You're doing it from New York to Taipei to everywhere in the world. You're going to see this, and it's going to be an interesting journey, no question. And I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be coming out. You'll see the growth in this area, and the innovation will just bring the connectivity for these smart cities. It'll just be greater and greater as time goes on. You know, where not only from your energy consumption, but your entertainment and everything else. Just imagine having the ability to be on a Wi-Fi phone and be able to walk around anywhere and have connectivity. This is what we're talking about. This is part of the future where you can actually be connected all the time. Interesting. Okay, but I would keep an eye out for the companies that are involved in smart technology, artificial intelligence, and things of that nature, because it's going to be a big thing. It's going to be a really big thing, and I'm going to talk more about it in future episodes of Money Never Sleeps. And if you ever questioned if gaming is a big market, just look at all the kids around. What are they doing? They're playing video games. This is what they do. But it's a huge market. And all the ancillary businesses or business that comes with it is interesting. You have a lot of virtual products, skins, things of that nature that have grown into the billions and billions and billions of dollars. And it keeps growing. You're talking about virtual products. The profit margins on those are ridiculous. And the profit margins have to be 95%. It's virtual. It's virtual, okay? Just take a look at NVIDIA, all right? They are posting record gains, producing products that will serve the high-capacity gaming arena. And it's just the beginning. It's really just the beginning. And some of their products are used for maning and everything as far as, the Bitcoins of the world are concerned. But that's not where they're making their scratch from. It's coming from the gaming, all right? And with gaming, you have, it's not just playing video games. You're playing with people from all over the world. And then you have the gambling part of it, which is, that's there. It's happening. They even fill up arenas more than some sports teams for this. And I get esports. Now, is it a sport? It's not really a sport, but, they call it esports. So it's going to be an interesting deal as time goes on. But I will look at the companies that are involved in that arena because I believe that they're going to do well. Now, blockchain technology. Listen, you hear this all over the place now. You got everything from iced tea companies and clothing companies or mattress companies. Come on, they're changing their names to incorporate blockchain in it solely to capitalize on the trend, because they figured, hey, is blockchain, our stock's going to go up by a zillion percent. Okay, it's a big joke in my opinion. How do you transition your company from selling a product and in a day, shazam, bing, bat, boom, you're a technology company? Come on, that's crazy. Don't fall into that trap, people. Keep your eyes open, understand the value that's there. If you have true blockchain technology companies or companies that are actually geared towards that, focus on those companies. You have IBM doing stuff. You have Xerox, I believe they're doing, but IBM is doing something. You have to focus on the companies that this is what they do. And this is part of what they do. They're technology companies. They're not selling iced tea and bread on the side. Okay? It doesn't work that way. So just be vigilant as you look towards these companies. And talking about crazy. Listen, I'm going to be talking more and more about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology for a number of reasons. As I said earlier, I love technology. I'm a tech nerd. Second, blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, they're here to say they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Okay, just get used to it. Get familiar with it. Do your research and learn. Thirdly, I like to give my spin on cryptocurrency itself and shed some light on the nonsense with ICOs. It is ridiculous already. Ridiculous, okay? And you have investors. Some of you guys are jumping into these ICOs like it's like the next coming or the last opportunity that you're going to have to make a buck. Okay, everywhere you turn, there's some initial coin offering. You see the ads, whether you go on social media, you go to a website, new ICO, new this, we're innovating this industry, that industry. It's baloney. Okay, you have these ICOs that are being launched. They don't even have a coin. They don't even have the technology. They don't have anything in place. It's just an idea. And they're raising capital for that. And the bottom line is you have some scams out there. They're taking investors' money, and what are they doing? What are you getting in return? A hello, a thank you? Okay, well, where I come from, if you're raising capital to grow a business, because that's what these coins, these companies are doing, right? They're raising capital so that they can create this business model. So if you're doing that to grow a business, you're either doing a private placement or an initial public offering, bottom line. Okay? You can do an exempt private placement, no question, and still comply with the Securities and Exchange Commission rules that are in place currently. But ICOs, they're a different breed for whatever reason, and they should be regulated. Not just randomly show up, raise 20, 30, 50 million dollars, and then get to work. Okay, how does that work? I mean, it's ridiculous. And you have the SEC. They're coming down. They're coming down on some of these. And I'm telling you, the ICO market is going to go bye-bye because it doesn't make any sense. It's not regulated. You have some exchanges or some like Indiegogo. They're trying to self-regulate. Great, happy for you. But at the end of the day, when you have these ICOs that are being just put together, who's Indiegogo? Are they regulated by the SEC? I don't think so. So for them to go and say that they're regulating these ICOs on their platform is great. You're being diligent and not just letting anyone put something on your site. But you know what? I think there should be more. There just should be more safety nets in place for investors, and that's what it comes down to. Investors getting jammed up, and this opens a door, and it has opened the door to lots of fraud, and investors should be aware of this. Even though you have hedge funds and other financial institutions that are promoting some of these ICOs, don't get rooked in by the hype, because the reality is you can get hurt. Look for things of value. I would stay away from the ICOs. Look at what's out there already. You're trying to get in on the ground floor, kind of like with the IPO when the internet craze went on in the 90s, and everyone wanted to get involved in the next IPO, and they were hungry for it. This is what it is, but the difference is IPOs are regulated, right? Yet you have certain things in place to protect investors. Here, there are none. Keep that in mind. And in the world of cryptocurrency, there needs to be an underlying value. Okay, and I have to stress that underlying value to it. Otherwise, it's potentially worthless. Okay, Bitcoin, undoubtedly the grandmother of them all. When it was created, it was for a purpose. But I'm pretty sure that the purpose has been warped at this point. You may or may not agree with me, but that's the way I see it. The value of Bitcoin is its distribution and peer-to-peer acceptance. That's it. Okay, plus, the exchanges are now carrying futures contracts on it, so that legitimizes Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. So now you have to pull the veil off and see what the true underlying value of an issue is. Otherwise, what are you looking at? You're looking at the public ledger. You're looking at what the exchanges want you to see. I mean, you have to look at something more. There has to be an intrinsic value to the coin. Without the peer-to-peer, then any cryptocurrency issued with no real value to it will eventually fall off. And that's my opinion. That's my view. Bitcoin, and maybe Bitcoin Cash will survive, but more so Bitcoin, because of its legacy value, will stay in tow. But that's about it. All these other coins that people are talking about, Litecoin this and all these other coins that are out there that are issued, Monero. When I read that Monero website, I was like, oh my God, that right there is a recipe for disaster and all types of crazy stuff going on. Okay, but you have to be wary. If you are using any of these for transactional purposes, great. If but these swings and everything else, I don't know. You have to be careful what you get involved with. Again, what issues you get involved with. And let me just talk about Ethereum. Actually, I'm going to talk about a few other issues. The three issues that I believe that have that intrinsic value that I'm talking about. Ethereum. It has a platform that allows others to create their own blockchains on the network, as well as coins and everything else. I see an intrinsic value there because they're doing something. They have an underlying business model of sorts behind it. So there's some value that can continue to grow. And look, as more users create more blockchains and coins, issue cryptocurrency tokens and all that other stuff on their network, then it'll just continue to grow, and it'll just continue. Ethereum itself will have continued growth because, look, more and more companies are going to want to utilize blockchain for one thing or another. It's not all about cryptocurrency and tokens. There's more to it, and if they have everything in place, Ethereum, would definitely benefit from that. So I like what they're doing. Ripple, okay, again, Ripple has a platform, again, that's specific for the banking world that I see. Just like Ethereum, there's value. They struck a deal with MoneyGram to use their technology to move money globally while cutting costs, and I think that is a big thing, because it kind of sucks going and sending someone across the globe. You have to send them a couple $100 so they can eat, but meanwhile you have to pay 25% in fees for this. I mean, how does that work? I've done that a few times, and when I was overseas, I had it done with me. I'm like, you guys are taking a nice chunk of that money for what? For letting the money come over. You're paying here, paying there, and it's like ridiculous. So I'm happy that they're doing that, and it's showing the value of cryptocurrency or a digital payment system. That's more of the word that I like to use here, digital payment system. And Ripple, that's what it is, a digital payment system. So this is of value. It's a company with tons and tons of growth potential and a sound foundation. So I really, really like Ripple for what they're doing, as well as Ethereum. And I see the future is going to be very bright with them. And I think that if more issuers of these coins would think about the future, then you'd have more intrinsic value out there. Pico Novus. That is a platform that is partially asset-backed and allows for coins to be used to invest in companies, used for import-export, real estate transactions, vehicular purchases, supply purchases, and the list goes on. Is basically there's a big use for business transactions. So if you were going to go invest in a company, or if you were doing an import-export deal, I mean, you can utilize this and it can work in your favor, and it protects both parties, because they feature an escrow system that allows coins to be set in escrow until the transaction is completed. And I like it because it serves a purpose, because if you do a transaction, you can put part of the part of the details, the highlights of the contract within the blockchain. So it's set in stone forever. And it's partially asset backed, so it makes me comfortable. And again, like Ripple, like Ethereum, I like it. And I'm advocating for this one in a big way because I see the future and I see what it can do. So so these are my three top picks here: Ethereum, Ripple, Pico Novus, and I see a lot of things going on with them in 2018. And I'll be talking a lot about these cryptos over the next few months as more innovation comes about. For investors, listen, just be diligent. Focus on the value and not the hype. Forget about the online ads, the hype emails, the PR blitz, and all that other nonsense that's going on. Look for the value. If you're going to play in this space, look for the value and see the uses. What can you do here? What can you do with these coins? There has to be a use. There has to be use. If there's no use, then there's no use for you. And I'll leave off with this. When regulation comes down, and it will, the issues that are prepared for it will survive, while the other 99% will fall off. And I'm saying that now. That 99% will fall off, and only the creme de la creme are going to stay in place. And these are the issues that have intrinsic value. Okay, that's it for this episode of Money Never Sleeps. I want to thank you for being for sitting there and listening to it. And remember to follow me on Twitter, and you'll hear my random thoughts. And spread the word about the show. Let other people know. And if you have anything, a topic that you want us to tackle, just shoot us out an email. We'll take it under consideration. And we are ramping up the show now, and we want to bring forward value to our listeners. And we're going to wind up having a call-in version in the near future as well. So with that said, be safe out there with the bad weather and have an awesome, awesome trading day.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Luis Velasquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Luis Velasquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.